Well, back here, 3 Corpus Christi firefighters were sent to the hospital while fighting a 2-alarm fire this evening. This was the scene around 7:30 tonight on Cannes Street off Yorktown between Staples and Cimarron. When firefighters got to the scene, the fire was burning out of control. Neighbors say the flames had spread quickly. 3 firefighters went inside. They began trying to put the fire out, but at one point it flashed out at them, and the crew immediately put out a Mayday distress call.
Those firefighters were removed from the structure either on their own or with help. They were all doing well. They've been transported to a local hospital for further evaluation, but they are all doing well at this time.
Here's a photo taken by one of our 3 News viewers, Michelle White, shortly after the flames broke out. Another viewer, Jason Southern, took to Facebook to capture these images. The fire department says the flames began in the attic of that home. The second story was destroyed. No word tonight on what caused the blaze.